there, this is Tina Stitches. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel all about cross stitch. It is beautiful winter day today. It is March 30th, Saturday, March 30th, 2024. Happy Easter to everybody. Celebrate or not, it's still, a long weekend for many people, so enjoy it. It's been 2 weeks since my last video. I have quite a few things to share. Some things I just need to put away. Yeah. Did I stitch a lot? That's to be determined. I mean, I have quite a few projects here. I didn't even make a list. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. So I have everything here. I'm pretty sure I worked on all of these things. And whether it was a day or 5 or maximum, I think it looks like there's one that had 8 days. And that would be my lunchtime project. Where is it? You know what? Might as well show it to you. Finishes. Do I have any finishes? I don't have any finishes. I feel like I should have a finish. I feel like I'm missing something. I have a new start, but I will save that for the end, I guess, because we're just going to go into whips. Because there's no finishes. I have a previous finish. Maybe that's what I was going to show you. This is my only Easter display right now piece. This is the 3 Rabbits Humbug by Just Nan. I don't know if it's 3 rabbits or 3 bunnies or something like that, but yeah. This was my lunchtime project last year. I can't remember if I finished it before or after Easter, but it's a cute little project. It's DMC, a couple of beads, and some linen that I had in my stash left over from another Just Nan project. Imagine that. And yeah, so for now, it's going to sit right there. It doesn't sit very nicely because it's a humbug. Yeah, so that's a previous finish from one of my go-to designers, Just Nan. So the whip that I worked on the most, apparently, was my lunchtime project. And this is ink circles. Believe it or not, my first ink circles. Well suited. And it's all playing card symbols, Oh, the suits of the 4 suits of the cards are in here. And originally I was going to stitch it on 28 or 32 count 2/2. And then I had this light bulb moment and decided that I knew I wasn't going to be happy with the size of something stitched over 2 of that stitched over 2, and so I decided to use one of the pieces of 25 count Lugana or whatever, I'm pretty sure it's Lugana, that I was going to have left over from cutting it up for other random small projects, because you know me, I love the small projects. Yeah. I'll just fold this in half. I was looking for something to put behind it, but I'll fold it. That'll work just as good. This is where it was when you last saw it. And here's where it's at now. And yeah, so been filling in the gold in here. I'm pretty sure the heart was not finished, and this corner has come up and around. So yeah, that one is getting close to being half done. And I guess technically it might even be at 50% because these, you know, are on the next half. I've got 3 of those done. Yeah, so very close to half, and still enjoying it. I am not using the called for threads. It calls for Baldani, I believe, and I'm using DMC Black, Turkish Red by Weeks Dye Works for the red, and Petite Treasure Braid. Which one am I using? Petite Treasure Braid PB35, and originally it called for Krynic. Yep. So it called for 2 Valdanis and a Krynic. I'm using DMC Petite Treasure Braid and Weeks Dye Works. This is the Weeks Dye Works. Nice bright red, you know, good for playing cards, suits. Trying not to zip things up, so we'll leave that over there. So the other thing that got quite a bit of love, and is probably going to get more love today, should anyways, technically, it did snow. This is my snow day stitch. This is the Sleigh by Nora Corbett. Part of the Christmas Eve Courier collection. If you've been with me for a while, you know I am eventually going to have all of those done. Here's where it was when you last saw it. And here's where we're at now. And I've been filling in the very front of it here, and this ribbon has made some more progress, but definitely worked in the black and the grays and the silver here. Getting there. And honestly, when I pick it up and I do one strand, I usually end up doing three strands before I put it down. I am parking on this mostly because it's, you know, stitch a little bit of this color, and then another color, then another color, then another color, and then stitch that color again. So I just park it, do the rest of them, pick it up, fill it in. Yeah, that's why I park on these. We have a visitor. Oh, she's wet. All right. She was outside. All right, out you go. Was not thinking about how mucky she is. Okay. No. Okay, what else do we have here? Well, this is something that I've also been picking up frequently. I don't have any hopes of getting this done. Okay, I don't have any plans to have this done. This is just if I have a whim to work on it, I pick it up and I work on it. And I'm pretty far. This is the Storykeeper Storykeep by Selena Fennick, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. If I can find a picture, I will put it here. And this is where it was when you last saw it. And here's where it's at now. And yeah, I mean, I'm almost to the bottom of the Q-snap. There's some stitches up here that I want to get filled in before I move it. The chart called for 032 Krynic number 4 braid, which I have, and I do intend to actually use it. I've made my decision about that. The part that I'm not going to use it on, though, is it calls for it up in this corner, along the pages of the book here, and also the lightest part of her face and skin. And I decided I don't really want her to have sparkly skin. This isn't Twilight, right? So I decided to just go with white, just regular white for the skin, because that's as, I mean, if it was calling for that Krynic white, DMC white would be just fine, and I'm okay with it, because I've already filled in her face, her hand, and part of this is already filled in with the white. So yeah, very happy with this. Believe it or not, this is at like 44% finished. Something crazy like that, because it's literally been 30 days since I started this. So, and I've only picked it up 3 times since my last video. So, yeah. And honestly, the rest of it down here is going to be a lot easier than the face was, right? This is where the most confetti was. So, yeah, that'll go quickly. Okay. This next project is something that I've guilt. Yeah, guilt. I feel guilty for not working on it more. I really want to get it done. There's so many other things that pull me that way instead. Yeah, I don't know why I don't work on this more. I love working on it when I'm working on it. I do find I do need to use my magnifiers when I'm working on this. This is Chatelaine Royal Tudor Mandala, and this is what it will look like when it's finished. And here's where it was when you last saw it. And here's where we're at now. And I moved the Q-snap and then realized I probably shouldn't have moved it quite yet because there was still a little bit more to do in this corner. And honestly, I only moved it like an inch in each direction. Like I shifted this up into the Q-snap more, but there was still an outline to go around the exterior of this gray line. So I started it, I came across, and that's what this is. And I guess I'm just going to leave it for now. I could stitch it in, but it's too close to the edge. It's annoying, so I'll just leave it. And so I came over here because this is a nice, easy spot to work with the Q-snap. And I worked on the black band. I got that hole in, and I started working on another garden. And this is stitched 2/2 on 32 count white Opalescent Lugana. There are 0 beads in this at the moment, but there's thousands and thousands of beads to go into this. You know how I am about the beads. I love the finished product. I think I have a better setup now for beading, so that should go smoother when it gets to that point. But I do want to have, I did try to break it up into 12 parts and think I could get 1 part a month done. I can't commit. I just can't commit to something like that. Yeah. Very bizarre of me, but if I have a goal, it's like, no, I don't want to work on it. Now I have to work on it. We're getting close to the end, I think. This is what I've been working on my Sunday morning stitch sessions with Kim. Kim from Stitch and Stuff has been joining us. Gail from Gail's Golden Needle, and Amy from Mimi Stitchery. I've been working on Beautitudes by My Big Toe. And during the Zoom session, I just work on the border. Because stray from the border and you're going to get lost. And here's where it was when you last saw it. Let's take the chart off. Okay. And here's where we're at now. Yeah. So last night I took it downstairs to work on because this is the thing that is the closest to an Easter stitch that I currently have, and I do really want to work on it, and I can't do this during Zoom, so I did this last night. If you remember, for the was in there, I had to rip it out because it was one stitch too high. And when I started to stitch this in, I noticed that it was not lining up the way it was supposed to. So for the is a restitch. And this is being stitched with Threadworks, and I was using Gentle Arts Cranberry for the red, which is not the called for. The called for is silk. I did not do that. This is 22 count Hardanger white, 2 strands of Threadworks 6-strand cotton, and 2 strands of originally Gentle Arts Cranberry, and then the subsequent orders of Cranberry did not match the original, and so I dyed my own from DMC, added Rit dye, and now I have my own Cranberry. So yeah, I mean, I'm just on to the last 2 pages of this project. This is that is the F on Kingdom of God. Kingdom of Heaven, sorry. So that's where that's at. So I am going to be working on this some more. I think I'm going to take this down to be my primary evening stitch between this and Royal Tudor Mandala and the Sleigh. Those will be the 3 projects sitting by my chair. I'll try to leave Storykeeper up here so I don't be tempted to pick it up. Okay, 2 more projects. Yeah. One more whip, and then the new start, and then something else. So, my mornings, oh no, I have 2 more whips. My mornings usually consist of me taking 20 to 30 minutes a day to work on my full coverage project. And that's really about the only time that I work on these big ass projects, because I don't have the space downstairs to work on them. It's worked out. Yeah. And on weekends, obviously, I get more time. So, yeah, when I reach 1,000 stitches on this and the other project, I rotate out to the next one. So, anyways, this one is Inner Depths, and this is what it will look like when it's finished. And where it was when you last saw it. And here's where it's at now. And I know it's all background, you're not seeing much difference. We're coming along this direction, working all the threads in up to row number 70. And I'm doing it my own version of typewriter method, coming across, and I just stitch wherever that color will take me and park it. And yeah, that's how I've always done that's how I usually do my full coverage. pieces like this. So pretty soon we hope to be getting into her. She's over here somewhere. So, Inner Depths by Chris Ortega, 2/1 half cross on 25 count off-white Lugana. That's not the one I was going to show you. So this next one, I just moved it in the Q-snap. So yeah, I guess you won't be able to see the progress that I made because that's already been rolled up. Because I'm just a bad Flosstuber. I did not wait. So this is Stitching Shelf by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is where it was when you last saw it. And this is where it is now. Moved. So what I worked on was up there. It was up in that area, filling in the greenery, working in the parked threads, and then I brought it down and I worked on the shelf, and I'm working in the parked threads so that I can, yeah, get some stitches in. This is 25 count antique white Lugana, 2/1 half cross, max color, regular size. And I started this with Carolyn Zook and Kim from Stitch and Stuff, and doing the math, if you do 100 stitches a day, you get to get this project done in 10 years. And so that was kind of my loose goal, is 100 stitches a day. Well, that works out to 3,000 stitches a month, right? So I stitch on this until I reach the 1,000, I'll stitch 80 stitches or 150 stitches, whatever it is, in my 20 to 30 minutes before work. And once I reach that 1,000 rollover, I will put this aside and stitch on Inner Depths, or the other full coverage project that I have, which I'm not showing you today. You'll see that next time because it is now in the rotation. So this is, I switched out where I'm working on this because spring, first day of spring was last week sometime. And so I was working in, there was a big mass of park threads here, so I worked those in, and then I moved the Q-snap. So, working these park threads in, and then, honestly, there's a color that I'm missing, and it is like 99% of that background. If I had that color, I could get those. I'm behind by about 5,000 stitches. I could easily bang that out with a solid book. But I'm missing that one color. I think I ordered it. I'm not 100% sure. So, fingers crossed it's on the way. Okay, so now I think that is all the whips. I have a new start. Pretty sure, yeah, I know I did. I talked about starting a sweetheart tree because sweetheart tree designs are fantastic. If you want to see all of these designs, which are all sweetheart trees, go check out my last video. At the very end, there's a tour of that. So I had 2 St. Patrick's Day patterns picked out. Zipper. By Sweetheart Tree, which is why I did the display tour. And the one that I decided to go with first is the big one, of course, because why not, right? Shamrock Sampler by the Sweetheart Tree. And I'm stitching this on 32. I'm going to call it 32. I don't think it's any smaller than 32. I'm pretty sure I even measured it, and I thought this is the fabric I thought was 35 count. It's not. It's 32 count. I do remember going back and putting pins in and measuring and all that stuff. 32 count. White. I don't know. Linen. Pretty even weave. So maybe Lugana. It's 32 count. I'm not sure where I got it. So, but anyways, here is where it's at. And yeah, maybe I should put something behind it. Sometimes when I'm filming, I can't really tell if things are showing up dark, see-through. And this is with all the called for DMC, except there is a Needle Necessities called Blue Spruce, or Spruce Mountain, that I don't have, and I did have a look. They don't have Threadworks at 123 anymore. Is Threadworks even a thing anymore? But anyways, I am using a Roxy Floss Co. thread that I had in my stash. Is it in here? Yeah. Jungle Nights is what I'm using in place of Mountain Spruce by Needle Necessities, which I believe became Threadworks, and now I don't know what's going on with it, but that's where we are. So I am up to row 12 out of 33. I worked on it for about 7 evenings, picked it up, did a little bit. Some rows are easier than others for obvious reasons. I mean, like row number 10, this one is actually little tiny Smyrna crosses. This is backstitch with 1 strand, this is backstitch with 2 strands, this is lattice work. There's some specialty stitches, but it's not really complicated. That row there is a Scotch stitch. Yeah. So pretty. That's what I go for, is pretty. So that brings me to, what else do I have to show you? So I have something that I started, I'm going to guess 25, no. I mean, this is published in 1999. So I don't think I started it right away. But I did start it I had most of it stitched. I'm going to show you the pattern. Sweet Blue by Marty Bell, charted by Pegasus Publications. So I started it, and I had the girl and the dress and the background mostly stitched, except for some of the flowers and some of the background. And then I didn't pick it up. I put it aside, didn't pick it up. I had reasons, and then I picked it up. I started this before I moved into my previous house, which I lived in for 17 years. I've been in this house for 4 years. So that's 21 years. So that's how far back I'm saying I started this, and I got that far. When I was in the other house, I picked it up. I decided I'm just going to finish it. And I finished the cross stitches. And I started to back stitch. But I didn't finish the back stitching. I didn't realize how close I was to being finished, but I had put it away. I knew where it was. I had the chart and everything with it. And for reasons I won't get into, I pulled it out and I decided that I'm going to finish it, and I was going to give it away. But then I hung it up on I put little clips up there and hang things for pictures or whatever, and I decided, you know what? I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to finish it. And I think I'm going to keep it. And it's in the Q Snap. But yeah, look at, there's her bonnet finished. I had all the back stitching down to her waist finished. Some of the stems are finished. There's even grass. Very tiny stitches of grass in the cobblestone. This back stitching was done. I mean, it's so close to being finished. It's just some of the back stitching. The chair needs to be back stitched. The dress, there's some back stitching left to do. And there was some of the stems, which I did do last night. And then it's finished. And it may not have suited my decor back then, but it does now. And this is stitched on 14 count oatmeal Aida. It's the Aida that has the flex in it. Yeah, so if I decide to give it away later, whatever, right? I put so much time into this already that I should just finish it. So yeah, I kind of understand why I had stopped with the back stitching, because there's like 5 different colors, and then there's dotted and dashed. And here, let me see if I can find you the page. That is I just want to find the page of symbols so you can see. All of those different symbols and such for the back stitch. Might be why I had put it down. But it's so close. I may have shown it on my bin of shame, because it was in my bin of shame. And it was one of those things that just pull it out and finish it. And then it can go back in the bin of shame, or it can get framed, it can be given away, whatever. So, yeah. And I know you're saying, but what about the reindeer? I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Yeah. So, yeah. Mirabilia's Sweet Blue. An old whip. This is not the... I think I've already decided that I'm not going to finish the other Mirabilia that I had started, which was the... It was a giant Miss Hathaway's cottage or garden. Yeah, I had the bottom half done, and I'm not... It's on Blue Ada, and I don't think I'm going to finish it. But this is just about finished. Literally backstitching and done. So I don't know if I'm going to have it finished by the next video, but we'll see. I did put a few beads into Dressmaker's Daughter, just a few. I'm getting a new, I have a new setup up here. You might not be able to notice because you're sitting on what is now a desk. It used to be a rolling cart. Yeah. So now I'm getting a magnifying light that's coming in. I currently have an aught light there. But yeah, I'm trying to get a nice setup up here so that I can do my beading and other work like that, because doing it down at the dining room table, that's been the biggest hurdle, is putting everything out and then putting it all away, dragging it out, put it away, drag it out, put it away. That's been one of the things that has been keeping me from getting my beading done, because that rolling cart that I was using is not at all good for that kind of thing. So anyways, I have somebody texting me, so I should get going and respond to that. I hope if you've had the snowstorm that we had, that you were able to recover from it. And yeah, I think I briefly mentioned the weather. Glorious winter day. It's actually like plus, I'm in Canada, so I use Celsius. It's +2, which I don't know what that is, like 30 something. Let me see. $35. So yeah, it's like melting and freezing, so I'm not bothered too much by it, because that means that our forest fire season is going to be nowhere near as bad as it had been forecasted to be previously. We didn't have snow until December 25th. Snow that stayed, which for us way up in the north here, that's very unusual. So anyways, yeah, I think I'm just babbling on now. I'll try to be back in 2 weeks. I might even have a special guest. We'll see. Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see how it goes. And we'll see what I get done. You know how it is with me. So, until next time, Stay safe, be kind, and happy stitching. Bye.